What is up, my riders? So I've been contemplating doing this for a little while. I want to kind of revisit the dash cam footage and the dash cam video that I did with the 70MAI. I'm going to highlight parts I already showed, but I want to do a more informational over of the camera just because I realized I've gotten a lot of questions about the camera itself. It was my first dash cam that I ever had. So I was more overly excited to show it off and see how it looked. So I didn't really do an informational piece on it. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to go over some of the key features. I'm going to go over some of the footage. And I'm also going to go over just the price comparison. Hopefully start a series with this going forward. This is my first dash cam, but I really want to start a series to compare and contrast and try to find the best dash camera under the $150 price point. So what they highlight on the box for their company is that the front camera is 2.7K, which is half of a full 4K. The HDR feature turned on, you can definitely tell with the front, it's insanely good quality compared to what I've seen on other dash cam. App enabled. It has an app that you can control and access all the footage right on the fly. Dual channel is just, it comes with a front and a back. For $9 more, you get a back one over just the front. So I would definitely opt in for the back one for $9. You're definitely getting extra usability there. Has built-in Wi-Fi and GPS. For the GPS feature, all that really does is it lets you go back on the app when you're accessing the footage, and it'll give you a point of reference, but you have to have that turned on, and you want to make sure that you turn it on if you need that feature, which is helpful in case you are in a situation where you're in a wreck. I am also just going to briefly go over some of the features that's highlighted also Amazon that I purchased and kind of what made it stand out to me as a buyer. So the screen is a 2-inch IPS LCD, and I would say in comparison to the majority of the other dash cams that I've seen online, it is very surprisingly good quality for what you're getting. I didn't know it was actually going to be that glare resistant. Honestly, I would say it was on par with a lot of other panels that I'm used to. One would be Fitbit. It's definitely easy to navigate and find your way. There's 4 buttons along the bottom, showcase above what you're doing with it, but one's scroll down, one's scroll up, one's okay, and one's back. That's usually how the format is set up. As a Sony IMX335, which is actually the image processing sensor, and you want to look out for that because when it highlights that it has a Sony IMX sensor or one of the Starvis sensors, that's where you're going to be noticing the most difference in dash cams. I've done a lot of research going into this. Most that you see on Amazon in the 40 to 80 price range, it's usually just a copy and paste. A lot of Chinese manufacturers have taken their own take on the outside, but basically copied and paste all the hardware and software to make it seem like they have something different. And I learned this from a Linus Tech Tips video. Also like to point out that they have a superior nighttime vision. I have yet to try that out, but I will try to find some online references for that. In the daytime, I will say, and I will show a video portion of collected footage that I have, you can very much tell that as long as conditions are pretty sunny, even little dreary days, I've had very, very good luck with the quality on the front. The back, it's 1080. I don't think it's terrible. Honestly, the rear camera, I think, is probably better than some of the dash cams that I've got sent to me that are in the $40 range, and those I actually decided not to do reviews on just because of how bad they were. Now, the downside that I realized with a lot of these cameras is they'll boast that they have 24-hour parking surveillance, but you have to hardwire it And what I learned also with hardwiring is it's kind of complicated because you want to find an ability to use a fuse panel. It will let you use a fuse with an extra fuse as the grounding point. What I do is I went out and spent $25 or so on a quality 20,000 milliamp power bank. And if I know that I'm going to want to be recording, at least with the 70MAI, I hook that up and it'll record with the power bank, because the power bank is what supplies it with power the whole time I'm gone. And that power bank is rated at like, I think 20 hours of use. So it's more than enough for the amount of time your car is going to be sitting, I would assume. And then you just charge the power bank and then you just hook the dash cam back up to your car when you're not using the power bank. It does also have the automatic emergency recording with the G sensor, and you can choose between high, medium, and low. There's also a loop recording feature so that your SD card, once it starts to get full, will record stuff that isn't locked. But there's also a feature where you can lock certain footage on your camera so you don't have to worry about it being deleted. Also, if you use it daily, you can just offload footage that you actually want to keep with your micro SD. I just recommend getting one of these things. Micro SD card reader, so you can throw it on your computer. If you don't have a computer, I guess you can always do the phone as well, because the app is very integrated and you can do everything on the app as well. The parking surveillance and the time lapse are unfortunately hardwire kit only. I did realize that you can't trick it into thinking that you have the hardwire kit. It has to actually recognize that it's hardwired in. Kind of think some of these things that are included are gimmicky, but I will say that it does have ADAS, which is Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. So it gives you notification of a forward collision, moving traffic, and lane departure. So it's giving you a notification via sound with cars in front of you, beside you. I think sometimes they can be good, but for this price range, I don't think that I would see anything crazy. I didn't even try it out because, in my personal opinion, like I said, I think it's a little gimmicky. This dash cam, it is the A500S, and there is a A800 and a A81 came out. So there are different lineups. I think the next two are 4K. Most expensive one showcases a better rear camera as well, and a lot more jam-packed features. This is more of the budget one, but 100% I would say that for under $100 price point, I would say if you're contemplating and you have a very tight budget of $100, this is the best bang for the buck you're gonna get for the image quality at $87.99 with a 10% off coupon on Amazon currently. I've done a lot of research on these dash cams, as I keep highlighting. I'm reaching out to companies for them to send me review units that I'm gonna be completely impartial. I'm gonna give it straight for you guys and see if I can find a good contender for this camera, because I have looked at a lot of dash cams and I've seen a lot of garbage online. I have received a lot of garbage, but this is kind of what lit the fire under me of finding a good quality dash cam. And I do have a bunch of specific names that I'm really trying to get a hold of, but you guys will see that in the near future. Now that we touched upon all the features of this dash camera, let's jump on over to some footage of the camera, and then we will come back and I will give my total conclusion on this dash camera as a whole. So I wanted to include something that's also dreary. So this footage is older, but it'll do. As you guys can see, it's very, very wide field of view, but you still get a lot of detail. This is compressed to 1080 from 2.7K, so I would say this is pretty impressive. You can see the license plate there. This footage, where it's doable, it's a lot darker because it was a dreary day. You can't see the driver when you zoom up, but Is it passable? For sure, especially if you're in a collision or anything. You can clearly see how close it is and all that. And also, you could see it tailgating, and then realizing that I have the camera, which is a nice feature to have, and then I kind of backed off a little bit. The G-force was enough to record. It is me installing a bike mount to the back of my car, and it recognized that, which is really cool. And this is actually the back camera, so you can tell the quality is a lot better, but there's also a lot of glare on the bright days. I think there may be filters that you can buy and make them work for this, but I think I just need to adjust the positioning a little bit because I've been tampering with the back one, but this is kind of cool. I really like the rear camera because of how discreet it is. This is the power bank that I use for the 24-hour surveillance. Okay, guys, you should be able to hear my voice. This is an audio test of the inside. I'll let you guys listen to the front and the back audio. We're gonna go down to the trail so I can get more footage for you guys. For the front interface, it's really simple. When you're recording, you can use this switch from front and back. You can access everything else with the press of a button. Also, you can use your phone as the app. For the installation, guys, it's pretty straightforward. If you want to run this cord for power, you can. I just run it down because it's not really in the way of anything. And I plan on getting double-sided Velcro to like put it somewhere hidden, but this isn't really distracting. But all you do is tuck the cord, and you tuck it all the way around. So if you guys couldn't tell, I'm completely ecstatic with the price per quality. I'm really actually interested in the two versions of it above this just to get a little comparison. But I mean, for the money, I do not think for under $100 you will get anything better than this. So I wholeheartedly recommend the 70MAI, and I cannot imagine you being disappointed in this camera for any reason whatsoever. I don't think it's the most feature packed, but I don't think that really matters when you have something that works, that is going to protect you completely, and that has the quality that this actually showcases for under $100. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Look forward to the new reviews coming up on other dash cams in different price ranges in comparison to this one, which will be the very first one for me. Please make sure to leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of it. And if you're new here, subscribe. I love you. Make sure to be happy, stress less. I'll see you guys next one. As always,